Yoast SEO plugin tutorial for 2018. In this video session, I'm going to show you how to quickly set Yoast SEO plugin up and show you what is important and what is not. Keep in mind, Yoast has two versions. One is premium, one is free. You don't need premium version. Makes sense? So keep your money in your pocket. You want to grow your website. If that is the case, focus on what matters. So let's go and learn what matters. Now, when you log into your dashboard, you can press on plugins, add new, search for Yoast, find the plugin, install and activate it. You can surely read more about it, okay? So then once you activate it, you'll have a menu option here. Let's press on that and let's fly through the settings. By default, yours will look like this. This will be the default. Something like this. Let's save changes and look at the menu option on the left-hand side now. As you can see, it's just gone funny now, right? It removed some links here. Here's how you set Yoast up. The only setting you need in features is advanced settings page, because then you have access to different settings here. Here you'll see any problems that this plugin may identify and so on. General settings, you can always restore default settings. Features, as I've said, the only feature that you need is this one. Or else I promise you 6 months later you'll be still trying to learn how to search engine optimize your WordPress site, and then you'll waste 6 months. Instead, follow what works. Follow experience. Because I optimize many different websites. And the settings that I'm sharing with you will be the same for all of them. Because general settings are that. Because I'm going to show you how you're meant to use yours when you're optimizing your website. Your info can be, if you're a company, simply give the name. Logo, simply upload the logo of your company, if you're a company. If you operate a personal blog, then you select person. Give your name. Perhaps you have a blog and you're pumping out blog posts and you want to get better results by using Yoast SEO. That's great. Then you become a person. Perhaps you're doing AdSense marketing, affiliate marketing. So that means if you're not a company, select person. If you're a company, select company and populate these details. Webmaster Tools. Here, if you log in to Google Search Console, press on verification details. And if you select meta tag verification, which will look like all this random stuff, simply grab what's within the content area. You would copy that, populate it in there. Let's just do this. Let's save changes, because then I want to show you. Currently there is only one meta tag, so I've added this manually. But if I refresh, it will be 2, because Yoast went ahead and added one for you automatically. Make sense? So if you want to use Yoast to include your meta tag verification details, then select that, save changes. Let's take a look at security. Now, I think this is rather very confusing because WordPress sites are very popular and many hackers create scripts to hack WordPress sites. That's well known. And here, this is not a security setting per se. If you want to better secure your WordPress site, simply browse around security plugins, perhaps WordFence, Bulletproof Security, and others. Okay, so when you look at general settings and security option here, don't be fooled by thinking, oh, if I enable that, my website will be secure. Okay, what this setting basically does is, if other people are logging into your WordPress site, perhaps other contributors, editors, other admins, subscribers, perhaps you have a membership site, and you don't want other people who are not admins to make no index changes. No index, no follow, all this confusing stuff, right? But you don't need to be confused because I'm going to simplify it for you. If you don't want other people who are logging in and who are not admins, if you don't want those people to make these changes, no index, no follow, then you enable that and so on. Okay, so that settings about that. It's not to do with security per se. Let's look at titles and matters. Once again, I'm trying my best to fly through these settings. Title separator, you can choose any one of them. It makes no difference. I tend to choose hyphens. Home page, you can edit the title, description. If you're using static pages, that means your WordPress dashboard. Settings, reading. If you have selected static page and given static page, then you can edit the details for the title and description here. If you're not seeing that meta box, press on screen options, select Yoast SEO, and then you'll see it. I'll uncheck it so that you see. Now that's disappeared. That means I can't use Yoast plugin now. But if I check it, now I can make changes here. Now this will be just for this page. Okay, so keep that in mind. Whereby when you're tweaking things from the menu option here, that's for site-wide. Let's look at post types. Simply place that in there, place that in there, place that in there, place that in there. If you have something else, apart from what you're seeing here, just remove them. Attachment pages, just leave title, caption. Any other custom post types that you may have, depending on the setup, you need to ask yourself this question. Whatever post types you have, whatever blog posts, pages, post types, products, and whatnot, you need to ask yourself, do I want that URL that post type is on, do you want that URL to be in Google's index? For blog posts, of course you want them to be in Google's index, so you select index. Pages, of course you want Google to index them, you select index. Attachment pages, you select no index. In my example, this particular one, I selected no index because there's nothing unique there. But remember, depending on your setup, you may have custom post types that is generating content and you want Google to see that. If so, you select index for that. Make sense? Because these settings here will be different for each WordPress site. At minimum, you want your posts, your pages, your products. If you're running WooCommerce, you want those pages in Google's index so you can rank them, right? Let's look at taxonomies. Just have this, whatever you see, separate the site name, just remove that. Post tags, in my example, I have it in no index, but it's not going to make a huge difference. In my example, I'm having categories index, once again, because I've created categories that actually has something unique somewhere. Makes sense? So that's why I've said, you know what, index. But you could easily select no index. And post formats, format-based archives, enable, disable. Taxonomies is this. This I selected no index. Tags, that's up to you, index or no index. Well, in fact, best practice, no index. If you have a new site, if you have a website, perhaps 10,000 pages, then don't make changes here for the post tag, no index, okay? Instead, comment for this video, we'll take a look and I'll provide you the best option as a best practice if you should or should not index. Let's disable, enable. As you can see, these are archives. If it's enabled, you can have this. You can have this template here. Date-based archives. You don't want them in Google's index anyway. 99.9% of sites shouldn't have it in Google's index because there's nothing unique in date-based archives. Let's press on other subpages of archives, no index, use meta keyword tag, enable, disable, makes no difference. I would encourage you to enable it if you want. And then you would simply hit save changes. So let's fly through, let's look at social. Here you simply populate the details for your social media profiles. Facebook, if you have an app ID, you can set default image URL and the dimensions will be different. RankYa blog details the dimensions for images as well. App ID would go in there. Twitter, add Twitter metacard, yes. Summary with large image. If your blog posts are having large images, select that. Summary with large image. Pinterest, you can confirm it. You can press on that link to learn more about it. Straightforward process. Google Plus URL, if you're running a local business perhaps, then you should definitely check out Google My Business listing. Let's look at sitemaps. You should definitely enable sitemaps. Max entries 1000, that's good enough for most sites, but you could easily say, you know what, 500. What that means is after 1000 URLs in a sitemap, it's just going to create another one. So it breaks them down by this amount that you specify here. Let's look at user sitemaps. Let's enable that to see what happens. In sitemap, in sitemap, in sitemap. Let's disable it. First, let's do this. Let's visit our sitemap area. In my example, I have this. If you're running WooCommerce, make sure you have product sitemap, product category sitemap at minimum. Product tag or product brand, all this stuff, you don't really need it in the sitemap, really. Because you don't want to rank for product tags. User sitemap, as you can see, it wasn't in the sitemap, right? So if I enable it, let's save changes. Let's refresh our sitemaps, and voila, I have author sitemap here. But I don't want that, because you shouldn't really have it anyway, unless you have a membership site or a forum site. Then you may have that enabled. Post types, posts, pages in sitemap. Once again, remember, whatever you want Google to index, I want these URLs to be in Google's index. If that is the case, I leave them within the sitemap. Now, sitemaps function along these lines. You have the parent sitemap location, which is this one, sitemap underscore index. You could easily submit that to Google Sitemaps. When you log into your search console, you can provide this URL pattern, test, view test results, close test. If all is good, then you can actually submit that. Or you could submit individual sitemaps if you want. In terms of Google and SEO, it's not going to make any difference. User sitemap, disable it. Post types, we've seen it. Once again, if you're using custom post types, because that could happen, and you want those different posts, perhaps reviews, testimonials, in Google index, then select it in here, as in sitemap. Excluded post, this is actually smart. Let's take a look. It's a great feature of Yoast. Let's imagine you have a page, RankYa share button. I've created this for Facebook plugin, and here I can grab the post ID, which is this number here after equal sign, and separate it by comma and place it in there, and say, you know what, I don't want that page to be in the sitemap. Let's save changes. Let's visit our sitemap to see what happened. That was a page. Now, what I'm going to do, RankYa share button. I've placed no index here, so let me change that so that I can just show you. That should be in the sitemap now. Well, it isn't in the sitemap because I have excluded that. But if I don't exclude it, it should be there now. But this page, take a look at it, there's nothing unique there, right? That is why I can press on this gear icon, and from here I can select, you know what, no index. If I do that, then Yoast will automatically not have it in the sitemap. Because sitemaps are very important. Let's press on post. Let's look at the source code. This is an XML sitemap. It's saying there's a URL here and there is some images here. And Yoast does this automatically for you, which is great, right? Taxonomies, once again, totally up to you. The only question you ask is, you know what, is something unique on some URL on my website? If it is, how can I let Google know of that URL? Let's press on advanced. You can enable, disable breadcrumbs. Now this is a highly advanced feature of Yoast, so I'm not going to cover that. But if you were to use breadcrumbs, then it will depend on your theme that you're using. And you may then need to modify certain template files so that everything works properly. Permalinks. Yeah, this is a very important part of any website, including WordPress. Yoast gives you ability to modify certain things here. But the fact is, you shouldn't play around with permalinks. If you have a website that's already known on internet, is it known to Google, and you're getting rankings, then don't go and make changes here, because then you may lose certain URLs because you're changing the structure of your links. Permalinks are these. What is here? That's a permalink. And since they are very important, let's do this. I'll share the best practices with you. This is what I do when a valued client hires me. I go ahead, I say keep. Strip category base? No. Because by default it removes it. It says redirect attachment URLs to parent URLs. No redirect. By default it says stop words in slugs. By default it removes it, which is absolutely the dumbest SEO idea ever. The rest, reply to com, we can remove it, and no direct, and hit save changes. That is for permalinks, for Yoast, because it gives you the ability to change permalinks. In your WordPress dashboard, you've got settings, then you've got permalinks. You can set custom permalinks if you want, or you can simply select post name. If you're running WooCommerce, then you'll have different settings here for products, categories, and whatnot. Okay. Let's look at RSS. You can simply leave this. And in this, your industry-specific keyword, you can include one there. Right. RSS feed, I don't know if people are still using it, but it is important as your site grows. Okay. Let's press on Tools. Let's look at bulk editor, file editor, import, export. Once again, I'm running through. I'm flying through these settings. Here we have bulk editor. That means I can make changes here. If you're a small business website, perhaps you updated your entire website, you want to change the titles. You think, you know what, I want to change the descriptions. You can do that bulk edition here, but it's never suggested, because you should be doing that manually one by one if you want your website to get better rankings in Google. Tools, you have option for robots.txt. Let's copy all. I'll show you the default settings so that Okay, this is what I have. Let me remove what you do not need. Okay, that's for Googlebot. Okay, that's for Googlebot. That's for other user agents. Okay, I want to do the right thing by you. Let's say example, you change if you have an HTML sitemap, you give the URL to that HTML sitemap. So you can have this and safely use it for your WordPress site. These are the bare minimums that you may like to add it to your robots.txt file using Yoast. Okay? Simply change these details to match your sitemap details. And you know where to find them if you're using Yoast. Okay? So I'll actually copy this, save as. Let's copy it in the dashboard. So if you want this robots.txt file, comment on this video, then I'll make it available for you. .htxs file. Okay. You don't have to tweak that at all. I do have a video tutorial that shows you if you want to learn more about optimizing .htxs file, because you can actually insert some things in there that's going to make your website function a little bit better. Okay. So I'm not going to cover that because that's a ball game. That's a different ball game altogether. So let's play with Search Console here. Personally, I never let any other plugin to access what is private. Makes sense. Even the privacy setting says, you know what, we don't see anything, we don't share anything. Not for your business, it's important. Keep certain details in terms of, you know, letting plugins access. It's not going to make a huge difference, but that option is there for you. You can connect Yoast with Google Search Console. Simply follow through the article to learn more about how to do that. Then it's going to show you crawl issues coming from Search Console, thus confusing you even more. Makes sense? Because this plugin is then suggesting to you when you start sharing this data, saying you should be doing this, you should be doing this, and 6 months later you're still doing something and no results. Instead, set the plugin the way I'm showing you, because it's better. And I don't care what anyone says, because it's just the way it works. Makes sense? Because I get many comments from so-called experts, some of them, saying keyword, focus keyword is important. Unless you show me proven results, then I know for a fact that it isn't. Because that's not how you're meant to rank keywords in Google. Okay, and premium option then says, you know what, go buy Yoast SEO Premium. Surely you can support them if you want, because then here it says redirect manager. Redirection, you need to be careful, because there's two ways to redirect. One is PHP based, one is .htxs based. And I tend to use and suggest to use .htxs 301 redirection, because then you know exactly how that is working. Because most small business owners make an honest mistake when they end up seeing Search Console crawl errors because it's Yoast SEO. They think that the people behind Yoast understand this stuff. There are many plugins that does the same thing, if not certain things maybe even better. Makes sense? The way that I use Yoast, I set everything up from the front end, just like you're learning right now. And the next step is optimizing individual posts or pages or products, because that's the best way to see better results. So when you're seeing Search Console not found errors, don't be overwhelmed, because some of them are legitimate. And you can even, do this. I'll show you for the sake of demonstration, right? Okay, I don't offer certification. Mark as fixed. It's not on my website. I do have an SEO plugin trainer. I just need to look where it's being linked from. If it's linked from external sites, now I need to keep an eye on that and say, okay, you know what? Is that quality link that I'm getting? If so, it's pointing to somewhere that I'll actually show you. As you can see, that's been redirected because that link, that URL you're seeing that I've highlighted, is not same as this one here. And what have I done? I redirected that using this method here. Just one line. Now everything is good. I can mark as fixed. I won't lose the power coming from quality backlinks. Now 6 months later, Google may show this not found error again and so on. So 404 errors are a little bit tricky. Once again, some of them are legitimate, some of them are, you can ignore them, mark them as fixed, but some of them you need to keep an eye on, okay? So I'm not going to show you premium because some of my clients are using premium version. As I've said, it gives you access to redirection, whereby you can actually use different plugins for redirection as well. It says multiple focus keywords. Not smart. Because the only keywords you should be focusing on is keywords from AdWords Keyword Planner. Even this is to get an idea, because you already know what people are searching for your products or your services. You know that, right? AdWords will show you, you know what, which are searched more, which is a great insight. But then your friend is Google search box. Okay, this is where you should be focusing, especially if you're beginning. Whether you want to target competitive keywords or less competitive keywords, Google search box is your friend. Without it, no one can grow their online business through Google, because it shows you what people are searching for. When a valued client hires me, I actually go ahead and do a lot of manual keyword research. There is many different keywords in there. It's tedious work, but it has to be done. Well, here let me show you a trick that no one else is going to teach you. When you explore search box here, keep an eye out of the keywords that Google goes ahead and highlights. Let me do this. Let's say SEO services. And let's look at what Google is highlighting in the organic results. Here it said company. Looking at what's highlighted, I didn't search for that. That means on my page I should sprinkle them or use synonyms of the words, including singular, past tense, and so on. Because SEO, SEO in, SEO, all these are different, and Google can analyze all that. So now this is how you set up Yoast SEO plugin, but how do you use it? When you're creating posts, pages, or different custom post types that you may have, then it gives you that option for the meta box. So screen options, have this checked. If you are not seeing this meta box here, you can always minimize it or expand it. You can edit, you can press on different viewports here to see how it's going to look on certain elements, which is great, part of Yoast. When you edit snippet, basically, okay, let's do this. How to rank in Google in 24 hours. To demonstrate the point, I've actually created how to get on the first page without paying. Let's take a look at that. Let's see. Oh, I'm covering 2 positions here. Yeah, some people may say, oh, Tolga, you know what, you're logged in, that's why you're showing us this result, because I've seen that in the comments. So let's go to different parts of Google. Let's say google.com, Ireland, doesn't matter where. I had to get on the first page of Google in 24 hours. Man, I'm covering 3 positions here. First one, second one, including the video. But let's search, that was .com. Let's search AU, which is Australian Google. Let's also search UK. Let's also search Singapore. Or google.com we already have. Let's see where the results are. That is AU. That is UK. And I'm not logged in, as you can see here. And that is Singapore. So when you follow RankYa's insights, just take on RankYa's easy to follow SEO insight and watch what happens. Back to our learning. SEO title. Well, if this post is about this, then the title is that. Now let's do something like this. Most people, they end up doing something like this. RankYa.com, small business owners, because they have the wrong settings, their title end up looking like this. But you have to ask yourself, if the page or blog post or whatever you're optimizing, if it's about that, then the title should be that. Because when you include different keywords here, it may dilute the meaning. But you can place a hyphen there and say, lessons for SEO in 2018. So you could do that, create 2 different parts of a title, because you're still within that green bar here. But let's imagine you end up adding more keywords, because some people do, thinking it's going to help. It's not going to help, because Google does this automatically. Your best option when optimizing is only to guide Google. Then you simply describe the page content. You can include the keywords within the title. I actually usually follow this approach because it seems to work better. Place the title at the beginning, then include some keywords variations and stay within the green bar. That's good enough. So now let's go and take a look at this here. Here you can actually change settings. I'll show you a different post, because on this one I think I have. Here you can change title for Facebook to be different if you want, description to be different, including image to be different, because then it'll show better on Facebook. And for Twitter, you follow the similar approach. Settings here, you don't really want to play around with these. No index basically says it places this tag, robots tag. If you select no index, it'll say no index. I'll show you one that is no index so that you actually see. Because on my tag pages, I am pretty sure. Let's category how to. Let's go. That's a tag page. Let's look at the source code. And let's search for. Here, that plugin would generate something like this. No index. That means when Google comes to this landing page and then sees this directive, it's going to say, I'll no index it. That means whatever is here that is within Google's index, it's just going to say, no, I'm going to take those keywords out. Okay, so that's what that setting is all about. Let's go back to import export, because I haven't shown you that. So on the page or post, you follow the same thing. Do the title, description. If you want, change the social media settings for posts, pages, custom post types, products, and so on. You don't really need it. The only thing you really need to change is the title and description. Remember that for your products, pages, posts, or anything you're showcasing on your website. Okay, edit snippet, just play around with this title, description. Follow the insight I've shown to you before. Import settings, you may be using all-in-one SEO plugin. Export settings from that. Choose that file from another plugin and import whatever the settings. But now you know better settings, so don't do that. Export settings, including taxonomy metadata. For yourself, it's good to keep a backup once you make the changes as I've shown you. Import settings. That means if you export it, you select import settings, and then import that file that you just downloaded. You can export your own settings. Makes sense? But you should basically do this once. Or you can import from another SEO plugin, and it has all these here. So this is how you're meant to use Yoast. These are basic levels of setting up. Now, if you simply follow this advice, make the changes on your website, then you're going to see better results as you grow your website. Once again, don't make an honest mistake by reading through articles, thinking some settings are more important in terms of this readability, keywords, right, admin bar may be of help. Not really. Cornerstone articles, text link counter, they keep adding more. I've shown you results. Some of them are optimized. I also have services side. On this one, I don't do SEO anymore. Once upon a time, I was ranking at #1 for SEO specialist, affordable SEO services, and many others. At one stage, I contemplated to rank a keyword called Google, to outrank the keyword Google, but I was a bit ambitious, I think, so I abandoned that. I share that insight with you so that you realize these are the best settings, and if you can show me a better setting, then I'll use it. Do these and see the results for yourself. Keep in mind, the basic plugin Yoast offers is free. That is good enough for you to use. I'll be adding more, and also share some custom codes that I actually hook into Yoast, so I'm not going to share them right now because they are my own custom codes. Furthermore, they may actually break certain sites if I end up sharing them. That's why I tend to not share them unless you comment to this video, perhaps share. Okay, visit my blog. I'll be having SEO case studies page. I have valued clients there, and read through the information. You may share some of their links on your social media profile if you're located in US, UK, Australia, and so on. Or if you're making money through AdSense and you want to earn more, get in touch with RankYa, because then you and I may work something out, then you benefit, I benefit, our valued clients benefit, and so on. Okay? So SEO case studies 2018 will be published. You can read more about it. Apart from that, subscribe to RankYa YouTube channel in 2018, because there is no other person on YouTube who can show you what I can show you in terms of search engine optimization of a website that is built on WordPress. Because I've just shown you how to use Yoast on WordPress. Yeah, there may be others who can optimize WordPress sites better, but I create my own classes, my own code, my own things to really optimize a WordPress site, including the most complex field of SEO, which is, I've just published this. Let's go test them. That's a blog post. Let's fetch that URL. Everything should be okay. We may see some errors here. It's nothing to be alarmed about. While that's rendering, okay, as you can see, page entry, video object, I use my own plugins because I've created them. All these are coded, so that means I have the experience. That means you should have enough confidence right now to be able to set up Yoast, follow my insights, and grow your website. And within 1 month, 2 months, when you look back, you see the results for yourself. I thank you very much for learning with me, and I'll talk with you in the next video session.